to all of you from Olympiad Success Family. So students, as you all know, like today we are here for a demo and interaction program for Python programming, and it is for students of grades 6th till 10th, although I know Ashaj is from grade 4th, but then Ashaj, if you understand the concepts and if you are ready to take the challenge, we are also ready, okay? So, okay, so like right now, since this is a demo session, the flow of the session would be, first of all, there would be an introduction by your mentor, Purbayan sir. After that, Rajan sir would be taking you through a short presentation about the course. Post that, I will be taking you through the tour of the platform. And post that, we would be having a question and answer round. And finally, we would be then starting with the demo session for which you all are here. Okay, so I would like to invite Purbayan sir. So hi, Purbayan sir. So this is our second batch into Python programming, and like before starting this meeting, we were actually discussing about, we were like me, Rajan sir and Purbayan sir, we were discussing about this thing only, starting of the second batch. So the first batch is already going successfully, and the students are enjoying that batch really. So I'm sure you students are also going to enjoy this. A bit about Purbayan sir. So he is a working professional, okay, and out of passion, he teaches students as well. Okay, and Purbayan sir, over to you for a brief introduction about yourself then.
Thank you. So, hi guys. I know you cannot speak today, but obviously from the classes, you will have all your mics unmuted. Feel free to just, type it down, whatever queries or whatever you want to say. So a bit about me, I have been working for about 3 years now in the space of data science. And I love teaching. That's the first thing. So I have been, I started this from my college days onwards, and this is something that really motivates me to learn new things along with you. And yeah, so that's quite it. I hope throughout this session we'll be having a wonderful time. You learning from me, some things I'll be learning from you. We'll be solving problems together to learn more new things. So yeah, that's quite it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Purbayan sir. I'm sure students would also love to learn these new things, and this is really interesting. And your experience would be add-on to your teaching, so children are going to enjoy it because they can learn many other things from you as well, right? So, it's now Rajan sir. Can you please present your screen for the quick overview about the course?
Sure. Let me share this. So welcome students, welcome to the demo interaction program for grade 6 to 10 Python programming. So before starting, let me tell you about us, about Olympiad Success. So Olympiad Success is India's largest online preparation platform for Olympiad exams. We have Olympiad live classes, and we also have School Plus program. So in School Plus program, we offer 8 courses that are mathematics, English, science, logical reasoning, communication spoken into both, Vedic maths, as well as coding. What else, students? We also offer one-on-one online CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE, IB classes for grade 2 to 12, and one-on-one tuition classes for international mathematics Olympiads like SESMO, CMO, HKIMO, TIMO, MathCount, US Math Competition, Math Kangaroo, and PRMO. Now, students meet the rank holder for session 20 to 23. So many students of Olympiad Success got international ranks in various Olympiad exams. Okay. Now, students, about this course. So about the coding classes, we are running Scratch programming for grade 3 to 5 and block-based programming on code.org for grades 5 to 7 and Python programming for grades 6 to 10. Web designing using HTML, CSS, JavaScript for grades 6 to 10 and Android development for mobile apps for grades 7 to 10. Okay. Now, why coding is important? See, coding is as important as any other subject which you study. It helps students to communicate more effectively, build up confidence, enhance creativity, increase problem-solving skills, and many more. So this is the detailed view of the syllabus that we are going to cover in this curriculum. Okay, so this is the topics like introduction to Python installation, data type variable, loop and range, list, set function. Okay. Pandas visualization, Pygame is there. So all these topics we are going to cover in this particular Python program. Okay. Now about this course, there will be group session and there will be around 15 students in the class, and all classes will be conducted on Zoom platform only. So there will be 2 sessions per week. The days will be Saturday and Monday. So timing for Saturday will be 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. and for the Monday classes, the timing is 8:45 to 10 p.m. Okay. So there will be a total number of sessions of 40. The syllabus link I will again share with you in the chat box. You can copy from there. Now the cost for this course is 8,925. The course will include online classes, reading notes, assessment, and project work, and exercises to be done at home that you can access from our platform. Payment link I'll share again in the chat box. Now students, to join this course, what you need a laptop or desktop with good internet speed, and laptop desktop with camera, because we don't allow students without video in the classes, and headphone. Okay. And students, for Python kind of course, you also need to do some practice. Okay, so you need to spend approx 2 hours every day to come up with the curriculum. Okay, and parents supported are needed to retrieve concepts or to check worksheets or assessment on the website. Okay. Now the live classes for this course, we are going to start from next week Saturday. Okay, and currently we are having students from 35 plus countries, and we are catering 35 plus countries, and we are having students from 3,800 schools. So this is all about this course, students. Now, if anyone have any doubt or query, you can post in the chat box. We'll take that. Before that, Aarti ma'am will give you a tour of dashboard. Okay, then we'll take your queries. So over to you, Aarti.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rajan sir, for a wonderful presentation about the course. So now students, like what happens once you enroll for this program, you would be getting your credentials. You have to go to the website, which is olympiadsuccess.com. You can either click on my account, or you can just type this olympiadsuccess.com/login. Enter your credentials, that is your email and password, and click on the sign in button. You would be redirected to the profile page. Make sure your profile, okay, just a moment. So make sure your profile is complete. Otherwise, you won't be able to move to any other section on the dashboard. What you have to do is just click on live classes. On this page, you can see all the subjects which you have subscribed to. Okay, so I have subscribed to all these subjects as of now. So what I'll do, I'll just click on Python programming. So for you also, only that particular subject would be coming for which you have subscribed. What you need to do is select the topic for which you would want to access the reading material. So let's say I would want to study about loops. I'll just click on loops, and here I can see the reading material of loops. Okay, so everything would be mentioned about loops over here. And then we have the practice question. So here you can see the practice question related to the topic loop. Okay, so this would be your assignment. So there are 2 assignments in this. So that you have to use do using the loop. Okay, and so this is about the reading material and practice questions. Next is the view schedule part. So this is again really important. So as Rajan sir had mentioned, there are 40 sessions in this course. So what happens is we have structured your entire syllabus into these 40 sessions. So you would be knowing beforehand only what you would be studying in each of these sessions. So session 1 would be Python installation, session 2 would be basic syntax, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is about the syllabus part and the schedule part, and then we have the holiday calendar. So on this page, you can see the dates on which the classes will not be conducted, and finally the Zoom meeting ID and password. So here your meeting ID and password will be displayed. All right, so this is about the platform, and now I'll stop my screen share, and now we can take up the questions. If you have any, you can write it down in the chat section.
Students, do anyone have any doubt or query? You can post in the chat box.
And Riyaz, Saket, Nagaraja, Jaymitra, Adya, Alicia, Rishita, please turn on your webcam. Rajan sir had told this one thing during his presentation, that we won't be allowing kids who don't turn on their videos. Okay, Alicia says, I understand. Okay, she has understood everything. Wonderful. And what about others? Hi, Alicia, Jaymitra, nice to see you. Hi, Riaz. Everybody loves coding. Hi, Nagaraja. Okay, wonderful. So this is today's digital literacy, which everybody should know, right? It's my first time, Ashia. Okay, no problem. Rehaj says he understood everything. All right, so I think so, Rajan sir, we have to ask you questions then if everybody has understood everything.
Sure, ma'am. So, students, can you tell me the days on which you're in the classes? You can put in the chat box. Monday, Saturday. Okay, any other answer? Monday, Saturday. Yeah, correct. The days are Monday and Saturday. And what about the class timings? Class timing is different for both the days. So firstly, you can post for the Saturday, then Monday. We have one question, ma'am. Is there any previous skill set required to attend these classes?
No, absolutely not. So that is what I had mentioned earlier also. So it's okay if you have already studied a bit about programming and everything, but then we are here to teach you. So we do not expect anything from your side. So we would be starting everything from scratch, like starting from the installation and teaching you all the basics. Okay.
Correct, students. The timing is 8 to 9:15 p.m. And okay, for Monday, you have also posted. It is 8:45 to 10. Yes, correct. Correct. The time is correct. So do anyone have any doubt or query, or like shall we start with the session? You can type in the chat box for today's session. Shall we start? Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, then I think we can start with the session. So what do you program, sir?
So, yeah, hi guys. I do understand a lot of you have no basic understanding of maybe I'm just keeping it as a maybe have any understanding of what programming is as such, and that's totally okay. So for this course, we'll need no prerequisites as such. The only thing that is required is your mindset to learn. That's all, and yeah, a laptop as well as a Wi-Fi, a good internet connection. So before I move any further, let me quickly share my screen and one second. Wait. Yeah, let me know. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So first, as I move forward, I'll take all of your is my voice not audible, guys? Okay,
No, it's audible.
it's audible.
Vishta, you can do
might
one
want to
thing. You
check.
can, yeah, you can rejoin.
Yeah. Okay. So before any questions related to the classes, how would be taking it, or any prerequisites required or not, we'll be taking it at the very end. Okay. Let's understand what we are going to do and what Python is, what's it all about. So, forget everything as of now. For the general crowd, what do you think programming is? I do not need a correct answer. I just need your perception on this particular topic. What is programming according to you? And I need answers from everyone. Tell me. Quickly type in the chat. What is programming according to you? Guys, quickly type in anything. To give codes. Okay, Arya has written to give codes. Others? Is a given instruction to the computer to perform an operation. Very well said, Sapphire. Okay. The process of developing and implementing various sets of instructions to enable a computer to do a certain task. That's impressive. A program is a set of instructions to perform a function. Okay. To learn how to make robot games and etc. Not exactly, but partially correct. Programming gives us functions for the computer to process. Okay. Programming is a way to create anything and develop new things that involve computers to perform a task with commands. Okay. Okay. So most of you are correct in apprehending what programming is. But let me, before answering this question, let me ask you one more question. So do you guys think programming and coding is the same thing? Just yes or no. I just want the answer yes or no. Is programming synonymous with coding? Yes. Okay. Any more answer? Yes. Any more? Don't know. That's a good answer. Yes. Yes. Rihas, I did not get your answer. Anyhow, I just wanted a yes or no. Is programming and coding the same thing? Most of you have said yes. No. Dikshita has said no. Okay, why, Dikshita, do you think programming and coding is not the same? In a one-liner, if you can say, what do you think? Something to represent anything at a particular time. Okay. Still cannot really understand. Okay, so Dikshita, I just want your answer. Why did you say no? And to the surprise of many or the most of the people, I would say that programming is not coding. Both the things are not synonymous. It is interrelated, that is correct, but it's not synonymous. Now, Dikshita, would you, Dikshika, right? Yeah. Okay, so before, let's not go into all the process of typing because I do understand this is a very long answer. So what do you think is the difference between programming and coding? Because most of us, what we think is coding is programming is coding, not really. So the answer to most of your, the answer of most of yours were correct. That programming is basically giving a set of instructions to the computer to program, to perform a task. That's correct. But that's essentially the work of coding. If we say, let me put a pen over here. Let's say this is coding. This is a coding. Everyone of you knows what sets and subsets are, right? If this is coding, programming is this whole. What I essentially want to say is coding is a sub part of programming. Programming is coding plus many more things. What are these many more things? So there are a lot of things like, so many of you use this particular application called as WhatsApp, right? Or let's say Facebook, or let's say we are using Zoom, right? So do you think Zoom is just a product of coding? Not really. If you think about WhatsApp, when you type messages today, you might want to log into your WhatsApp after a month and you would still see the same set of, the messages left, right? Coding is to code something, programming is for not really, Arya. Let me explain. So what happens is, as I said, so when you're using your WhatsApp, you see all these messages coming to you even after 1 month. And how do you think it is possible? It is not just because of coding. There is a system that has been followed. Essentially what we call as system design. And there are other lot more things which let's not complicate things just at the very beginning. We might learn all these things in the course itself. The basic difference between coding and programming. But as of now, just understand coding is giving instructions to the computer, just like today I am communicating with you guys. Okay, quickly tell me in the chat, how many of you know Spanish? Quickly. How many of you know Spanish? Just yes, I want a yes or no. Yes or no, quickly. Yes, no, no. I know some, okay. So most of you might not know Spanish, and that's okay. Now just think, if I'm communicating with you today in Spanish, or let's say any other language, you might not really understand what I'm. So people who know partially, who know half, might still not understand me speaking Spanish, correct? But today what I'm saying, you do understand. And why is that? Because I'm speaking in a language which is common to both of us. Similar to the fact that coding is a language. Many of you know about Python. You have heard about the name Python. You have heard about Java, C, C++, Pascal. There are a lot of languages. Ruby, Perl, Go. But those are the languages which is a communication between us and the computer. So when I say, can you guys just raise your hand? I want everyone of you to raise your hand quickly. I just want to see you. Yeah. Why did you raise your hand? Because I said, and you understood what I said. Now you can put down your hands. That's okay. What had I said in any other language? Most of you might not have understood. And that's what programming is or coding is. If I tell computer, please give me a code to create Zoom, it won't understand what you're saying. It would say, man, what are you saying? I don't understand your language. And to make the computer understand, we use these languages present in the coding languages that we use generally. They are programming languages, correct? This is a synonymous thing that we have started using. Essentially, this is a wrong terminology that you're using. These are coding languages, not necessarily programming languages. Although, if you say this, everyone would understand. Anyway, we'll understand what programming, the difference between coding and programming is. That's not even a very big thing. So I hope at this stage you understand what we are going to do. We are just going to learn coding, not even programming as a whole. We'll learn how to interact with computer. We'll not learn how to do certain, magic or certain number of things. We'll just, as you have learned how to speak in English, we'll learn how to speak in a language that is comfortable for the computer to understand what you want to do, so that it can perform the tasks you say it to perform. Now, one more important thing that I would want to know, why essentially do we want to learn how to talk to computers? We know how to talk to human beings. Why do we need a computer to talk? Are we in dearth of any friends? Or why? Why do we need a computer as a assistant? Quickly, just put down on your chat. What is the difference between programming and coding? We will understand much to the detail in the course itself. As of now, just understand coding is a subpart or a subset of programming. Coding is essentially the language, how we speak to how we speak with the computer. Programming is the entirety. It involves creating an application or everything per se. But I did not get the answer as such. Why do we need to learn coding? What happens? Why do we need to learn programming? Why do we need computers to speak quickly? Correct, to make things faster. Very good answer, Sanjana. So what happens is, if I tell you now, let's say I help make life easier, correct? So what if I tell you, I give you an easy task, quickly, compute. All of you use a calculator, right? Why do we need to use a calculator? We can also do it in pen and paper. But calculator makes our life easier. It helps us do things faster. And that is the reason we need to learn coding. Computer is what is the difference between calculator and a computer? Both are computers. A computer means a machine that can compute. But when we say computer, we mean a machine that is much more capable than that of just a calculator. And that is essentially why we learn programming or coding per se. To interact with the computer to make our life easier, as Naman has said. Correct. Now we understand, we need to learn coding. We'll need to interact with the computer. So we can learn any language. Now, my next question would be, why did we sign up for Python? Why Python at the first? Any answers to it? Why do you think? Why do you need to learn Python? Many would say I have already learned all the other languages, and that's the reason I want to learn Python. But for people who are just beginners, why do you think Python would be the best suitable language for you? And why not, let's say, Java or C, C++? Why? Okay, so correct, Arya. Python is very easy. Python is super easy. For people who knows a bit of Python and other languages would understand how much easier Python is. Python is as easy as learning English. That's the best that I can say. It's one of the easiest languages and incorporates most languages in it. Alisha, I would like to correct you. It's easiest language, that's correct, but it does not incorporate most languages in it. Although you're correct in saying one thing, Python does incorporate some languages in it. There are certain libraries like NumPy, Pandas, which uses other languages. Will understand everything in the course itself. It's a very big topic that I need to. If you understand what you said, Alisha, then you are correct. Python seems the most straightforward language. Learning concept, coding, programming, correct. So Python is very easy. This is number one. Second, we need to write a lot less number of codes to represent a similar problem or to address a similar problem. And that is the reason we use Python. Or Python might be the best languages to start with. Okay. Now let's understand what Python has to offer. So Python is a very simple language and is therefore, just give me a moment, I cannot. Once. Yeah. So Python is a very simple language and is therefore very easy to understand and learn, as I said. Second point is that it has some really terrific packages and libraries embedded in it. So let's say when you want to, as I mentioned, there are certain libraries like NumPy, which is also called as, which is the acronym for numerical Python, or SciPy for scientific Python. There are so many libraries, which when you pull, you do not have to code lines of code. You just pull out the library, import it, use it to your function. So Python helps us tremendously in those things. It is extensively used in the industry and therefore it also has a very, very big community. Now, I also want you guys to let me know what is the use of a big community, if you understand. What do you think is the help of having a very big community? I'll give you a very simple example. Every one of us goes to school, right? Right? Now tell me, why do you go to school? Why don't the teacher come to you? There are lots of answers that you can give. Maybe it would be too costly. Maybe the teachers won't agree to that. But do you also understand the fact that going to a school also entails you to be a member of a big community? You have your friends to whom you call, or let's say you talk to, you text them, you go to play with them. When you are bored, when you need some help for an assignment, let's say, you can ask them for help. When you need to go to certain places, you can go with them. You are entitled to a lot of time with your friends. So having a big community is very essential. More so, it helps you. Exactly. Correct. It helps you to help you with your assignments, to work on a certain project, and Python has that. Python has a really big community. So let's say every one of you enrolls for this course. After the end of, we'll have 40 sessions and you'll learn from scratch to a very good, not I'll say to a level where you can start going to work, but you'll understand this language purely well. But that doesn't end your learning, and Python is developing even now. So what if after this course you encounter any problem? There are several websites. There is a big community, as I said. you would want to ask your doubts, and there are people to help you out with. Even if other people ask you doubt, you might want to help them out in that community itself. So that is how collaborative learning occurs. And Python is very good for that, as it has this big community and is being extensively used in the industry nowadays. All right. This was why we need Python. Now, what is Python? Can we understand that at the very beginning? The first. So Python is essentially an open source. It is an open source, general purpose programming language. So what do we mean by open source? Can I get a quick answer? What do you mean by open source? I use two terms, open source and general purpose. What do you think these terms means? What is open source? It is modifiable, correct, and can be used extensively. That's a very good answer, Naman. That's a very good answer. So most of the people by this term called open source would mean that this is free, which is correct. It means that it is free, it is easily available. But what it also means is it can be modified. And when I say modified, it is not simple. You just modify it and just leave it for people to use. It's not that easy. But you'll be surprised to know that most of the libraries that has been developed or is still being developed is due to the reason that it is open source. So people can actually work on more libraries and publish it with time, so that we as developers feel easy to use Python with time. So while the developers of Python made it open source, knowingly or unknowingly, they made something very crucial. They gave a very crucial decision. It became more popular to the crowd as such. While Java, C, C++ are not open source, and therefore it do encounter some problem in development of the language with time. So that is something. And what do you mean by general purpose? So let me answer this. General purpose means it can be used for many, it can be used in many niche. Someone said that they know HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So what are these languages used for? For designing web, for web application, web development. I don't know how many of you know this, but Python can also be used for web development. There are certain frameworks for as Flask, Django, which can be used for web development. Python can also be used for developing games. It is, I think most of you know with AI, ChatGPT. So most of you might be knowing that AI, Python is a very well used language in AI, in data science, in machine learning. And it has tons of its uses. I can go on and on. Robotics, computation, many more. Artificial intelligence, yes, I said it. Now, it's easy to read and is a very powerful language. It is also an interpreted language, which allows it not to require any compilation before the debug cycle. So does anyone know what's an interpreted language and what's an compiled language? What is the difference between interpretation and compilation? Let me answer this question with a very easy example. In depth, we'll know in the course. But as of now, just understand this in a very good analogy. Let's say, okay, how many of you go to restaurants to eat? How many of you actually went to fine dining? Or let's say, let me take an easy example. Most of you have undergone a problem in your pipes, or let's say in your taps water system, and have called plumbers, right? When you call the plumber, or let's say when you go to a doctor, that would be the best example. When you go to a doctor, you give the doctor a list of the problems you're facing, because you do not know what kind of problems you're facing, right? How do you tell the doctor? You compile the problems together. Let's say your eyes is paining, you say, and you have found you cannot see the screen for, let's say, more than 2 hours. Drops start rolling down your ears. I'm sorry, from your eyes after, let's say, half an hour. So you compile these problems and say, doctor, I'm going through a problem in my eyes. My eyes find it's not as it was previously. I'm finding problem in viewing, right? You being children, your parents would tell this to the doctor, right? So this is called compilation. Your parents understand your problem and makes it easy in a compiled way, tells the doctor. What is interpretation? You say, mom, my eyes is, tears are rolling down my eyes. And your mom tells the doctor, my son's eyes are facing, tears are rolling down my son's eyes. You say, I cannot watch TV more than 2 hours. She says, my son cannot watch TV for more than 2 hours. This is not how you represent things to a third party, right? So in that case, we use compilation. Compilation, what it stands for is, it is a understanding of the problem in a wholesome way and representing it in the most suitable and easy, lucid way to the third party, or let's say doctor in this case. Interpretation would have meant you write an essay, you say line by line what you have said. That's not what our parents do, or that's not what we do when it comes to a external stakeholder, right? But Python uses interpretation. It does not use compilation. Why is that? Because compilation might be easy for us to understand, but for the computer, it takes less number of debug cycles to, you know what? It makes the debug cycle easier. We'll learn everything because this is essentially a big topic and would need a lot of time for you to understand what it is. We'll deep into it inside the course. But I hope you understand the basic difference between what compilation and interpretation is. So Naman has said compilation involves a group of commands accumulated, correct, and perform step by step simultaneously. No, Naman, performing things step by step is what interpretation means. The previous part is what compilation means. All right. It is also a high-level language that is designed to emphasize on code reliability, which facilitates significant use of the white space. So what is a high-level language? Do you have any idea? Essentially, a high-level language is a language which is easy for us to understand. Now, can you guys say how do computers understand our code? Even if you have written it in Python, Java, C, C++, how do computers understand? You'd be surprised to know computers understand only one is on, one is off. On means true, off means false. This is Boolean. Okay, Arya said 1 and 0. So Arya, can you also say what 1 and 0 stands for? Okay, let me take it up. 1 is for flow in of voltage and 0 is for stoppage of voltage. And that's exactly how computer understands us. So these codes that we understand or we read is a very high level language. There are low level code as well, but these what we use are high level language. That actually helps us to understand what we are writing. Python is a super high level language. It helps us to understand how do we code, how do we tell the computer or give the computer any instructions as such. All right. So the basic characteristics of Python that we have learned till now is it is an interpreted language, a general purpose language. It is a high level language, and it is also an interactive language. What do we mean by an interactive language? It means that it is interactive, it is dynamic. More so we'll understand when we practically work on Python. And we have also mentioned a thing called as object-oriented and procedural. What is that? In short, it is also called as OOPS. So what it essentially means is that it works in a procedural manner. We create classes so that repetition of code is not there. everything will be covering in the course so that you understand, because these are things which cannot be said in theory. And mind you what, in the course, there would be very little theory. Everything would be practical so that you understand the applications and not the theory itself. After the end of the course, I can guarantee you would be able to do, you'd be able to understand or apply your learnings in practical world. That's what this course entails. So now let me quickly take you to the basics and let you understand what all we'll be doing in the course. One second. Okay. Quickly just type in yes if you can see my screen. Okay. So in this course, from understanding the basics of printing a hello world like this, or maybe adding two numbers like this, will create, maybe you have found boring Excel sheets to be boring, right? You do not understand the visualizations. We'll learn how to visualize those things like this. We'll learn how to visualize things in the form of graphs, in the form of interactive graphs as well, interactive things. You just see, it tells us how the life expectancy with respect to different countries have moved over the years. So all are these things that we'll be learning, and these are created just from simple data sheets in Excel to, and using Python, we have just incorporated it. These are actually regions. If you know, this is India, right? This is China. You can also see the names when I hover through it. You see the continent, the country, the year, and you can also see how the population has increased in an interactive way. So these are things we'll be learning in this course. How do we create this from an Excel data? We do not need to, bring in graphs, and even Excel do not have this interactive thing. It can create graphs, that is true, but we'll learn Python to create graphs and in this interactive manner. What we'll also learn is to create games using Pygame. So if you see this screen, these are kind of things that we'll learn. If you see, these are the things, these are kind of the things that we'll be learning throughout this course. So yes, that's what it was all about. Now open for any questions if you have any questions. Quickly, I just want how to command by numbers. Asaj, can you write your question clearly? How to command by numbers? What do you exactly want to know? Okay, no. So one second. Asaj, I'm still unable to understand what exactly do you mean, but that is binary coding. Okay, guys, could you write your question properly? I can still not understand what exactly do you mean. Python is not binary coding. I think he means 0 and 1. I don't think that's what he asked. Okay, so as I said, Python is not binary coding. Python is, do you want to see how we use Python coding? As I said, no, the first thing that you saw, if you want to print hello world, what we do, we write print followed by hello world. So there are a lot of syntax attached to it. We'll be learning with time as and when you enter the course. But it's very simple. Just understand this. It's very simple. It's not binary coding. It's not even hard to understand. In Hello World, you said you can command computer by numbers. No, I did not say that. Okay, let me quickly share my screen again so that you understand what. So what I said over here is, let's say I want to print Hello World. I use this particular command called print Hello World, and I get this printed. Let's say I want to print all the numbers from 1 to 100. What do? There is something called as loops. So I write for I in. Do not get overwhelmed. Do not get overwhelmed when I'm saying all these things. Everything will be learning from the very scratch. And I write this. And see, I just get all the numbers from 1 to 100. So I get all the numbers from 1 to 100. Okay. What if you want to? So like this, we can actually code many more. This is all about Python. This is just a tip of the iceberg that you're seeing. There are many, much more things attached to it. And also, guys, if you can just switch on your camera so that I understand what kind of things are going through your head. In Hello World. Okay, so I think Asaj, your doubt has been cleared, right? Okay. Any more questions that I have? Any questions related to when the course would be starting, or what we have learned today, what Python is, what programming is? And do not ask me what is the difference between programming and coding, because it would take some time to make you understand. Any questions as such? If not, you can just write no. Then we can just end today's meeting. All right. So people who do not have any questions, if you want to leave, you can. But people who has any single question can stay. And for today, I think your mics have been switched off. Rest assured, in the classes, it would be not a one-on-one, but we'll be having a proper interaction, because that's how we learn, right? Sir, from where have you graduated? Okay, so I have graduated from SRM Institute of Science and Technology. That's a college in Chennai. Any other question? If no, guys, you can just drop off the call. So, how many students in each class? Okay, so typically it's from 10 to 15, depends. On an average, it's can I make app after this course? See, making an application, no, you cannot make that. To be very frank, you cannot. And making an application is not limited to Python itself. Yeah, go ahead. Just let me clear this question for Sanjana. You cannot make an application just by undergoing this course. Even any programming language, just the knowledge of a single programming language cannot help you make an app. It's something related to Android, web app development. So this is a different class altogether. But yes, you will be able to understand the things that we'll be able to do is you'll be one step ahead to learn coding. Second, analytics per se, you would understand in a very depth. You will be able to create your own games. That is something you can do. So these are the couple of things that you will be able to do. Can you teach maths with Python in your class? No, Pankaj, maths is not. Can you teach maths using Python? Okay, can you teach maths using Python? What do you mean teach maths using Python? Do you need? Yes, we can create some sort of things in maths. Let's say if you want me to create a table, right? Let's say a table of 2, we can do it using Python. Certain things of maths can be done by Python. Yeah. Okay, Sanjana is saying I'm from Canada and I see the class is on Monday night, correct? Which is my morning. We'll have school after September. So we'll have school after September. Okay. I think, Sanjana, on Mondays, that is correct, 8:45, you would want to check your timings correctly. And this course will go for 40 classes. So I think November. So 1 month is there. No, please do your due diligence, check for the timings, because I think the timings have been fixed. So you might want to talk to the management once. If that is, you can just put your doubt over there. I think no one from there is present right now. So, Shweta, I think the course details has already been provided in the chat itself. The list of courses, the things that we will be having. Will you cover maths library? Yeah, we will be covering all sort of libraries. Maths is a very simple library. We'll be covering much more complex library. Any more questions? Vivan, Naina, any more questions? Is Olympiad having a certified exam for Python just like IMO? 40. Wait, will you cover? Okay. 40 session course details. Whether I think you have been shared a detailed course curriculum, right? I do not have it with me right now. I believe that has been shared. Is Olympiad having a certified? No, Sanjana, Olympiad does not have. I'm not sure. Does Olympiad have this or not? But I'm damn sure that there are many coding. See, for coding, if you ask me any certifications as such, there are international certifications provided by Python itself. More than that, if you want to be adept in coding, there are competitive codings or development, open source development. These are things that you would want to participate in when you have a good grip over your language. Do we need to install any software? Okay, so no, yes and no. You might not want to install any software, but for Pygame you have to. So we'll be taking each and everything step by step. I'll teach you how to install, what you have to install, how to install. We'll have a dedicated class for that. So don't worry for that. Based on the course, can I participate in some exams? Yes, you can, definitely. Definitely you can. But Sanjana, just to, and for everyone present here, I'll tell you, more than taking the exams, exam is the easier part in coding or programming. Let's say when you wish to be a proper developer, right? Certification does matter. I'll not say it does not, but more than that, what matters is your projects that you have developed. So that is something you should ask whether we'll be developing more projects. Because see, certification, clearing certifications is easy compared to other. This is the easy part in coding. You will definitely be able to do that. But having good portfolio of projects is what the industry would demand. So yeah, that's. We will be developing projects. There will be many courses. So how the things will happen is we'll learn each and every concept. So I just now I wrote a code of printing 100 numbers, right? For this we used a for loop. When we learn for loop or loop in general, you will be having some assignments. Don't you worry, the assignments will be pretty easy and 1-2 questions that you have saw. It won't really take much of your time. But we'll also cover that particular topic. One would be a topic wherein I'll show you the commands, the things that are present, and another class for that would be dedicated to completing a mini project as such. That would be a mini project so that you understand what you're doing. And obviously we'll have, I think, 4 to 5 good number of projects. creating graphs, creating visualizations, understanding data, creating the Pygame and everything. So we'll have it. And we'll also have a project display. So I believe by the end of this sessions, 40 sessions, you will be, you can create your own project, and that's something you will be showing off. So yeah, that's all. Any specific person to reach out to management on timings? Not any specific person. I think I actually do not know whom to reach out, but then you must have, I think any number or any contact has been given. You might want to reach out to that person from there. That would help. Okay, so any more questions, guys? If not, then I'll just end this meeting. Just type in yes or no. No. Okay. No. Sanjana? No. Fine. Then okay. So this is all for it. Hope to see you guys in the course. So yeah.